Are we on? Are we going? I can't hear a thing.
Oh, you can't hear anything?
Not a thing.
Haver's plugged in, but he's got
Tools will fix it.
I don't know what's going on. Hey, it's good to have the team back together.
I'm back. There we go. I think I can hear something
boys
now.
back
No,
in
go
town.
again. Try that one more time.
BackChat, powered by Paywise.
Hey, I got a quote from Pickers for a car.
Great.
So we went through the process. It was easy as. He's like, there's 8 cards to pick from, like, of what you like. I said,
What are you
about
looking
this
for?
one? He goes, great, here's a quote.
What are you liking?
What are
It
you
was a Peugeot something.
Oh, you asked for the old
Ooh,
He
Peugeot.
was like,
Peugeot.
I got a good deal on
European.
the Peugeot. at the moment.
A little bit of European
Yeah.
feel.
I think
So,
it's
Out the
Uh,
front smoking cigarettes, having a
yeah.
couple of wines. about
having an
3 p.m.
espresso and a coffee.
I think it was like 170 a week for everything.
Great.
That's so good.
That's fuel
That is
servicing.
dumb, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Red Joe.
How are
Yeah.
they still in business? Like, seriously. It's like, no, you're stealing money off them.
Powered by
So-
Paywise. We're all
Yeah.
back in the house. Sorry for our... Well, I'll apologise for my absence. I was working
Pink concert.
in another thing at
Yep.
the Pink concert.
You did have the pink concert.
Honestly, Pink concert has absolutely destroyed Optus Stadium.
Oh, I know. The ground's fucked.
Terrible, Nick. And you went away. You were away as well.
Yep.
Some family commitments, but we're back.
It's
now.
good to be back.
Good to see you, boys. Got a big show coming up. Sam Mitchell, head coach of Hawthorn.
That is huge.
Yeah.
He'll be joining us a bit later.
Well, that's good. He's a nice guy.
Now, I think sometimes in media land, we pretend like whether we're live or not live. We've done the chat. You know we do these
Yeah,
during
yeah,
the day,
Yeah.
right?
Hammer just doesn't. I just don't magically disappear. I just don't go to take a shit real
You know,
quick. I just go. Don't, sorry, boys. I just got to go quickly take a shit because West End Plumbing fixed our toilet.
I will. Great shout out, West End
Thank you.
Plumbing. I will say it's a very good chat. I think it's the real Sam Mitchell. He said to me at the end of the chat, he goes, "You really lulled me into a sense of just talking to a mate there, and then I
Great.
kind of forgot that what I was
Yeah,
doing."
I forgot that I was a head coach.
So
That's
I think
perfect.
there's a little
That's
bit
good.
there that you'll be interested in that, fellas. We've got all our normal stuff. It's relevant with Hammer in his seat, back in his seat.
It's good to be back.
Big show coming up at the Leadable Precinct next week.
Oh,
Huge one.
massive show.
You and Lee Kitchen and
Yep.
Skeet are going to take to the stage
Yeah, we are.
Thursday, March 23rd. Doors open from 5:30 to talk about the Leadable Showdown.
Have we got okay? Hammer's on stage, Lee's
I'll
on
be up
stage, Subi VA's Perth. It's
Yeah.
a big deal. I get that, but have we got our handball ring?
We're still finding it, and I think Nick, have we got our handball competition thing going?
Confirmed.
We've got it. Great. So out the front of the
If
Leadable
you haven't got
Hotel
one, I know where to get one.
from 5:30
Oh, really?
p.m. March 23rd, we've got Sydney v Western Bulldogs. That's going to be on there. Just come down and have a beer. It's basically beers with BackChat, but then we're going to talk some waffle stuff and handball competition. Look, if you can beat me at a handball competition,
We'll show you a beer.
I'll show you a beer.
Yeah, and
Right,
Mark Reddings will be having to go at the handball comp.
Yes.
If you can beat Skeeter, don't know what you're going to do there.
You can just rub it in his face.
If
Yeah,
you
you
beat
can.
Hammer, we've got some merch on the line.
Sure.
I'll up the ante then more of the beer. Come down, you beat
Great.
Hammer, like a Sandover medalist and
Yeah.
current
Yes.
footballer.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
great.
not putting myself in there. Like
No,
I'm not a good handballer.
Yeah.
No, we never were. So 5:30 March 23rd,
Dang, guys,
backchatstudios.com.au. Go to the merch page, and there's a page there so that you can buy a ticket. It's $10.
That's a bargain.
It's just it's beers with BackChat.
Beers with
March
BackChat.
23rd.
Yep.
Thursday
Watch the
week.
footy.
It's gonna be awesome.
Listen to Hamish on stage. I mean,
Yep.
last time we were in there, what did we do? Oh, we broke
Oh,
a
he
world
broke a
record.
world record. Yeah, sorry about that.
Just for a laugh.
I completely forgot. Yeah, might as well just.
People were
laugh.
listening from Mount Hawthorn as well because
Yeah.
Hammer was absolutely
Oh,
squealing his guts out on the
yeah.
microphone.
Best night ever.
Yeah.
Hey, did you work the Freo game on Friday night?
No, I didn't.
You
I
weren't
didn't
there?
work it. No.
I
I watched it though.
just look, there's been a fair bit of chatting, and this is going into a bit of heavy stuff to start the show. Sorry about that, but there's been a fair bit of chat that maybe they shouldn't have played that game. Have you got any thoughts on that? Given the Cam McCarthy situation, 24 hours out before the game, do you have any thoughts on whether they should have played or not? Do you think have any thoughts on that?
I think you play the game, but if anyone puts their hand up and says, "Oh, I can't play," play ball.
Yeah.
No issues with that. But yeah, I think you got to play the game.
Speaking to some people before the game that were involved in it really rocked the footy club. As you can imagine, there's a lot of guys really close with Macca.
Yeah.
Really difficult situation that I don't think there's a right answer to it. I kind of agree with you that I think players would have struggled, but also for those players, they would have found it difficult to put their hand up and say, I'm not right to go as well.
I think, it's different because he's been out of the club for a while. It's not, and it didn't affect all the players. Like the Phil Walsh one, they canned that game.
Yes.
And that was fair enough.
Yes.
Again, but it's like, if Alex Pearce puts his hand up and says, I'm not ready to play,
Yes.
No one would say anything otherwise, but he would be, it's a hard one for him to do. So, yeah, I think play the game, but, it's a tough one.
Also,
I don't really care
I'd say from like a fan's point of view, I saw like online, no effort from the boys, Freo fans. Like, you got to take a bit of, the result with a grain of salt.
And that's coming from a West Coast nothing.
Yeah.
I want to read this one out to you, boys. AFL rules out neutral doctors after Cat's concussion. So Jeremy Cameron concussed on the weekend. That is confirmed because he's going to be out next week. He's entered the protocols.
Yep.
Andrew Dillon, the boss of the AFL,
Dills.
he has everything, and including ruled out the use of independent doctors during games in the wake of what happened with Jeremy Cameron.
Why?
I'll quote him. The Geelong doctor, who's really experienced and really good at what he does, he was able to be out there, conduct the assessment that he had to do, and it was all in accordance with the protocols, Dylan told reporters Monday. So what I'm comfortable with is the protocols were followed, and they continue to be followed. We've got good doctors at the clubs, and I don't think they need to be independent because they, as in the club doctors, have got the best interest of the players in mind, Dylan said. That's what they're employed to do, and that's what they do. Question being, fellas, and we tried to take a little bit more of an analytical approach on Monday, given the weekend's just gone. Do we think... Okay, I'll start with this question, which is a statement. I think they need independent doctors. Jeremy Cameron went up, smashed his head on the ground. I don't think a team doctor is biased. I don't think he's naturally not looking after the player. But with 5 minutes to go in a tight game at home that you have to win, I think there has to be a certain level of, we'll just keep him out there and we'll figure it out afterwards.
Jimmy Bartell, I heard him talking to Eddie about this, and they didn't actually answer the question. They probably did. They were trying to suck me into listening to the whole podcast. But he was saying, what happens when a player, like the team doctor's running over and a player goes nut and sends them away and runs off? Like, is the team doctor going to chase them around the oval until they do the test?
Players need to be saved from themselves in this situation because Jeremy Cameron, all he wants to do is win the game of football.
Exactly.
He's not only paid to do that, but he's driven by that. Like, that's how elite athletes operate. All they want to do is win. And so when they're in a situation where them coming off the ground is going to stop them from doing that, there's very rarely going to be another answer than, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
The only times you're not getting up and saying, no, I'm good, is if you can't get up.
Yep.
If you can get up and run around and it's 5 minutes to go in a game, like, you're saying, no, I'm good. I just don't think... I mean, why would there not be independent doctors? Why would you not just have an independent doctor or two at every game? It's not like the AFL's short of money. Pay these guys... I mean, they're not giving West Coast enough, apparently. Isn't that what you were saying?
Like, they only need them for 5 hours
Exactly.
a
Just
weekend.
pay them for one game.
It's not like you need to put them on 100 grand retainers.
Yeah.
So they've got the... what is it? The booth. What is the...
The Arc.
The Arc.
They've got the Arc set up, right? There's people
Yes.
watching that. I don't even think maybe... this needs to be someone there to treat players. I think there needs to be someone who says, you're coming off. It's like a red card, You've hit your head.
And there's repercussions
You
if
come
they
off
don't.
the ground. And then you can have your Geelong doctor on the sidelines doing it. But, like, you almost need someone in the Arc. They've got the score review on one side.
Yeah, they got the concussion review on the other.
Exactly right.
Would you give them a power of veto to just stop the game at any point? If Jeremy Cameron goes up, hits his head...
Yep.
Gets up, runs off, he's fine. 30 seconds later, if the guys come back and said, I got to assess that.
I would say
Next stop in
play.
Yep.
Message comes down to the umpires.
Done.
They're all wired up.
Yeah, cool.
Come off the ground. You know what else I think it would fix?
It's like a blood rule. Blood rule's the next stop in play, isn't it?
Exactly
Or
right.
Like whenever the umpire
exactly
sees
right.
It.
Yeah. And then it would stop some of these players. I won't name names, but some players throwing their heads around trying to milk free kicks for head knocks.
Oh, man. Imagine you faked it and then you had to come off.
The concussion.
Tested.
The concussion guy goes, you got to come off.
Yep.
Right. It's
And
like
now we got 30 minutes.
It's like a stop-go situation in the F1, right? You come off, they've got to review the footage, but you're off the ground. They look at it and they go, oh, you were just faking for a free kick, but you've had to come off. And so there is some sort of penalty for acting like a dickhead.
Like it a lot.
Yep, love it a lot.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, you've solved it.
What do you reckon?
I really like that a lot.
Thank you very much, Will Schofield. Someone put him on the board of the AFL. Now, let's keep moving, though. Had something come in late. This is from Ben Harding. Shout out, Ben. We're putting in a little earlier request to you send that we read it to you, Hammer, while we have it.
Yeah,
right. So this has come in quite early. It's quite late. Sorry, Ben. So if you want to get on the show, you're about a minute later, and you would have missed it.
Wow.
Look, I'm just reading verbatim from his email, and he sent it with a video, but I think you'll do it more justice explaining it. Can you ask Hammer if Simo made a comment to him in a waffle game regarding Jacko Nelson? So Jacko Nelson, with context, I believe,
Yeah.
he's on a West Coast podcast.
He is on whatever
Just so
they
Hammer
call it
doesn't
now.
think he's
Coast to
stitching
Coast.
anyone up.
I think he was on
Yeah, he
Coast
would
to
have been on
Coast.
something like that.
And he mentioned I think you tagged him or something.
No, I didn't.
Come on.
No, I didn't.
Hammer's not tagging Jacko.
Well, he was
so-
tagging you. Maybe he was tagging
No,
you.
he wasn't tagging me. So what the story goes? So Jacko and I are good friends. We worked together for a couple of years.
Love Jacko.
Love Jacko.
Still do.
Still
It's
do.
not a
Yeah,
past tense.
It's not a past tense. Still very much love Jacko, and we've joked about this many a time.
Yeah, so we're not sledging anyone.
We're not sledging anyone.
And
So,
I think Jacko's come out and told this story.
yeah, so
Yes.
Jacko would have told the story, but I'll recount it from my point of view. It was a wet day at MRP. I had just gone from West Coast, and then I was at East Perth. Jacko was still on his AFL list, but it was in his last year. He'd played his 100th game, and he'd been dropped, and I don't think he went back and played another game of AFL. Or he might have finished the season. But anyway, he was in the waffle, and we were winning. It was raining, it was shit, it was wet. And at MRP, right up in the in the top right, is at the end of the building is where the coaches sit. For West Coast. And
Little
anyway,
balcony.
The little balcony. Simo and all that were up there watching. And it's not that far from the East Perth bench. It's the West Coast bench is on the other side. Anyway, Jacko is tagging Angus Schumacher, who is one of our players who's played very well. And Jacko's tagging him because that was the only role. That was the role that Jacko would have to go back into the AFL and play. And so it's you try, play like you would in anyway. Jacko and I are having a joke around, and I'm laughing at him because he's tagging in the twos. I'm like, fuck, mate, you played 100 AFL games, you're back tagging in the twos, what's going on? We're jibing back and forth. Anyway, I am fucked. I'm running to the bench knackered, and there's just been a ball's been hacked out of stoppage, and it's landed on my lap. Jacko's on the bench. As I'm running to the bench, I've just freaked this mark, luckily out of nowhere. Jacko's sledging me like fucking hell, Hammer. That's the only reason you got delisted, because you were so fucking lazy and you still get the ball kicked in your lap. Anyway, I kicked
That's
it.
not bad.
Yeah,
That's
great.
not bad.
Really good from Jacko. I've just lobbed it long down the line, running off the bench. I'm still going at him. Jacko, I know, mate, I've been delisted. You'll join me next year. You'll be fucking tagging in the twos. There's no way you're getting back at it. Anyway, go to the bench. I'm yelling this at him because he's on the other side of the bench. And Simo
It's
can
like a
hear
Family Guy episode.
Yeah, but Simo can hear me. So anyway, Jacko and I slap up and hug at the end of the game. We win. I get 3 votes, had 37 touches and kick goal. Anyway, so
Just for a laugh.
yeah, this was the Monday at work. So I still work at West Coast at this time.
I see.
And I've just obliterated him on the field. And I'm in there. And Adam Simpson said 3 things to me in my entire career as a 3-year player.
Yep.
And had said just about as much to me since leaving. Anyway, I was sitting.
Simo just rolled into a
I
drive-by.
was sitting at the cafe by myself having a coffee, and Simo's rolled past, and we've just won. I've played pretty well. He's gone. Didn't say anything about the game. It just goes, pretty good sledge on Jacko on the weekend. And I had a laugh. And I was like, yeah, well, mate. He's like, we're good mates. We joke around. And he just didn't say anything else, walked away. As he's turned his back and walked away, still played 99 more games than you. And I was like, oh, fucking hell.
That's good.
Fucking hell. So anyway, he's just jibed me on the way out. Yeah, 99 more games than you. Fuck off, Simo. You dog.
No thanks to you, motherfucker.
Yeah, no thanks to you, mate. You didn't pick me.
That's very
Piece of
good.
shit.
So that's from Benny
Anyway,
Harding.
yeah,
He's,
great.
Humour. That was
That's
very
good.
funny.
Good
Thank you very
find.
much. I'm surprised I've never heard that story.
It's
That's
very
really
funny.
good.
We do talk a lot of shit on this podcast.
I told Jacko that, and he started pissing himself. It was very, very funny.
That is brilliant.
That's good.
Talking about things that are very, very funny. I got a video to play you, Hammer. I'm not sure if you saw this on the weekend. Let's just have a look at it and see what we got to see. Can we have a little look
Hang on a minute.
at Anthony
Albo, isn't
Albanese? No audio, which is
Hawks
fine.
Guernsey on.
He's in there.
He's gone in the huddle.
He
does he
is
know the
Hawks
words?
have just
Does he
won
know the
game.
words?
They're in the
in
team huddle.
Tasmania.
Yes, he does know the words. He must be a big Hawks man.
Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, is in. You can hear it now. Yes.
What the fuck?
He knows every word, I think. Who's that other bloke?
That's Jimmy Miller.
What's Jimmy Miller doing?
It's the medal they're wearing around their neck is the police medal.
I know.
Jimmy's dad.
Right,
okay.
Passed away.
Jimmy Miller needs to be in there.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Miller's
Jimmy
fine.
Miller's in there. God, yeah.
Anthony Albanese.
I'm not
Does
sure
not.
about Albo. I mean, you're the Prime Minister. You can sort of do whatever you want, but
So as a little
Weird.
Does the team want Albo there? That
no,
feels...
the team doesn't want Albo there.
as a little tease, I do pretty much start the Sam Mitchell interview with this
Yes,
question about
good.
Albo. I
Yeah,
go
nice.
straight
Okay,
to the boss.
That's
Say it.
so cringe.
So we will get clarification
We
from
will get-
Hawthorn's
yeah.
side. I texted Mitch as soon as I saw it. I saw it live. So he would have been there, I'm assuming.
Mitch
and I-
would have been there
Yeah.
because he was the
no,
coach.
no, in like
Oh, yeah,
in
Albo,
the
yeah.
rooms.
yeah.
I texted him. I said,
What the
mate,
fuck's going
what's
on?"
fucking Albo doing in the... Mate, very rarely do you have it would be only in a game like that where you've got Jimmy Miller in there for a game that's
cause.
dedicated to his family.
Yep.
Yes.
Or a kid from the stands.
Yes.
Like special circumstances you'd ever have anyone else in it.
Yeah, correct.
Anthony Albanese.
Nah.
It's a big no for me.
That's a big no.
It's a big fucking no
If
for
I
me.
happen to be in the West Coast rooms and the boys are just won and they're singing a song and Tom Brass looks at me and he goes, Dad, come join it. There is no chance in hell.
No.
Even
Did Julie
if
Bishop
three
ever
of them
join
were
you?
grabbing me and pulling me into the circle, I would fight.
No,
Did Julie Bishop ever join in a
I
song?
don't. I hope not.
You could imagine she would have.
Yeah, she would've loved it.
No. I was big. You would have maybe remembered Hammer. I was big on no cameras in the middle. I used to kick the broadcast partner cameras out.
Yeah, good.
No cameras in the middle. You don't get to come in here.
Yeah.
Which
How does
might
that
have
go
been.
now in Fox Footy and your other
Can we get something? Can we get a camera in the middle?
Fuck, get everyone in there. What's going on? Someone get a camera on Albo. Shit.
Look, I saw it and thought, what is going on here?
Fuck, that's
so
good.
that leads us into this beautiful thing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And now on the BackChat
miss clip.
podcast, Hammer Rex.
Yes. Hammer ranks.
Usually this is reserved
This
to
is
Fridays.
usually on Friday, but I wasn't here on
Wow.
Friday.
I also text you. I said, mate,
Yeah,
I'm flat as
I'm
a
running
tack
on
today. I need
me
to get
something.
up and about.
Yeah, so you did send me that, and I said, well, let's liven things up and go a Hammer ranks because
Yeah,
we
beauty.
didn't do one Friday, and that
Great.
really ties in well.
Good.
Absolutely.
Albanese, Prime Minister of Australia, big dog. And
Top 5 Albo moments.
And he's a massive
Is that what we're
Hawks
doing?
man. No, we're not doing top 5 Albo moments. We are doing, so that's rogue.
Do you want me to speak or not? I'm the Prime Minister.
Yeah. That was actually very good. That was very good. You would say that's a rogue thing to happen.
Yes.
So what we've decided on, me and Nick, is like the top 5 rogue celebrity,
Injections?
not
Like-
injections, but like rogue celebrity fans or like interaction moments.
Right.
Good.
AFL celebrity interactions.
So does Albo make the top 5?
Elbo doesn't make the top 5, but it's like he's an honourable mention.
Because I've seen some photos of Elbo pumping around the SCG in full Sydney attire. So, like,
Oh,
even
yeah.
though he apparently he's been a
Carlton,
Hawthorn
he's done
fan.
Geelong, he's done them all.
There's a couple of like, yeah, he's an honourable mention, but he's
Right.
done the
He's a
rounds.
turncoat.
Okay.
He's a turncoat.
Yeah, he's a turncoat. There's one
He's
like
a turncoat.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. There's a famous one of him in his Collingwood kit, but there's one of him in a Sydney kit as well.
Right,
so like
turncoat.
Okay.
turncoat. We've got a couple of good ones here. So have you got the?
I do. I've got the order of appearance here. I've got a special mention off the top.
Yep. So have we got photos of the special mentions or? Yeah. Okay. So honourable mentions off the top. Virat
Hang on. Can I? So Virat Kohli.
Kohli, big Richmond guy.
Is that Cam Newton?
Cam
Cam
Newton.
Newton. That's Cam Newton in his full Richmond kit down at training, and he looks. If you could do yourself a favour and Google that photo, Cam Newton looks fucking massive.
Yeah, he's huge.
Just like sitting there, he's got his long NFL skins on. He just looks jacked up.
I'm
just kicking a
sorry,
footy.
but I've never seen Virat Kohli before like that.
Yeah.
I
What's he
tell you
doing?
what, we've never seen. His shoulders and biceps.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
seen
No,
them.
you
shoulders
never
He
seen
and
looks
him.
strong. Looks
Yeah, he
very
does
strong.
look strong.
All right,
I think this is going a bit off topic, but we do. I think Virat Kohli is Nike's most marketable person on the planet.
Which
is pretty cool.
I want to know, before we move off it, I want to know whose rooms he's in.
Yeah,
Greatness
greatness
is
is
contagious. So this is from the teams. They're like, work hard, hard running
Hard work
team.
beats talent when
Yeah.
talent fails to work hard, etc.
I've never seen greatness is contagious.
It's a bit shit.
It's a cricket room too. Well, there's cricket shit all over the floor.
It's difficult.
Anyway,
with-
so
yeah.
there are a couple of honourable mentions.
Okay.
So let's
Oh,
there
look
he is.
at
Look
him.
at him. Look at the size of that guy. All right, so let's see. You've got the initials in
Okay.
front of you.
I do. SG.
SG. Any guesses?
Steve Gravina of Front
First
Runners
name
Physio.
pretty close.
Stephen.
Steve.
Don't know.
No.
Righto, let's get it up.
Yeah.
This one was rogue as Stephen Gerrard.
Wow.
Ex
man.
Liverpool player. I believe
Great
he was the
power
captain
kick.
of England. Power kick. I've watched so many times. Long bomb Stephen Gerrard compilation. He just bombs them from halfway.
So good.
Just a Port Adelaide fan.
Like, why have we
Like
got
of
him in
all
Port-
things,
Whose
of all
signature's on there?
things.
Is that his signature? Or is
Nah,
that a
I
player?
think it's Dominic Cassisi's by just looking at it.
He famously fell over in like a really big game in the EPL
Did
and
he?
cost him the game.
Well,
I
yeah.
think I remember that correctly.
You could have, but anyway, that's Stephen Gerrard, and
Great.
that's like a very, very weird. I think it's rogue one, not only because it's like he's a star of another sport, but Port Adelaide's a rogue one.
Yes.
That's is it his signature? It looks like his signature.
Could
He's
be
holding
his
up a jumper
signature.
that he
Looks like a big
signed.
G.
I would love it to be Dominic Cassisi. I don't know
Straight.
why I thought that. Okay, number 4.
I think I know who this is.
Yep.
It can only be one person.
SLJ.
Is it Samuel
Yeah,
Jackson?
it's Samuel
You're
Jackson.
fucking kidding me!
Yes.
He's
What's
taking a
Samuel
hanger over
Jackson
Harvey.
taking a hanger? over the second highest disposal getter in the history of the competition.
Dual
Brownlow
Brownlow
medalist.
medalist.
Robert Harvey.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel
is
Jackson
taking
has
it.
got the technique too. He's
Yeah.
up there, mouth wide open. Robert's just
Yep.
enjoying himself, having a bit
That's
of a laugh.
great.
That is fucking unbelievable.
I think this is my favourite photo of the bunch. Like,
Yeah,
not
that's
the
a great
roguest
pick.
celebrity, but I think that's
Yeah.
my favourite
I
photo
think
of
that's
the bunch.
pretty rogue, mate.
Oh, yeah, you wait till
Get
the...
these motherfucking snakes on these
Snakes on the fucking
motherfucking planes. They're going to hang on Robert Harvey, I tell you.
Yeah,
what.
that's a
Wow.
cracker. So,
Brilliant.
Samuel Jackson,
That's
what do we
number
think?
4.
That's number 4. Number 3.
Wow.
Who have you got?
SD.
SD.
Any ideas?
I keep thinking you want to say Sam. Don't know.
No.
Sean
Let's
Darcy.
get it up. Snoop Dogg.
Gold
Coast. So the AFL have pumped as much money as humanly possible into the Gold Coast Suns to
Yep,
try and
we know.
get football off the
We
ground in
know.
Queensland. And they've just said, fuck it, let's throw it on the big
Snoop
Snoop
Dogg,
D-O-double-G.
SD.
And there is Snoop performing at, fuck
It's-
knows where
I've
he is.
actually had a deep look. That's popular Broadbeach nightclub East in Gold Coast. It's called
Wow.
He's still, we got a camera back on Nick.
Hey.
That's nice.
Hey.
There he is.
Hey, golly
And if
gosh.
anyone's watching on YouTube, tell us what the kits in the background represent.
East. Little secret.
Little secret.
Oh, we're doing
Surprise.
code messaging
Yeah.
now.
Code,
are we?
yep.
Okay.
Wow. We
Look,
are
I'm
doing
going to
code.
say,
Snoop Dogg,
before
great.
we get to 2
Snoop
and 1,
D-O-double-G.
before we get to,
Great people, yeah.
what was he, Snoop Lion for a start?
He was.
He was
Yep.
Snoop Lion for a bit
Before
there.
we get to 2 and 1, I just want everyone to remember that behind every one of these images, there's someone in marketing that
Yeah,
has
just look.
come up with,
Is
why
a
don't
good
we
idea.
get Samuel L. Jackson down to come and take a hanger on
Take
Robert
it.
Harvey? Like, why don't we get Stephen Gerrard in a hotel holding up the jumper? That'll be good.
That'll be great for business. So
Okay.
they thought, let's get Snoop Dogg down here. So
Brilliant.
this is
Number 2,
Number
BO.
2, yeah, BO. This is very relevant with
BO.
very, very relevant with Albanese.
Right, so a Prime Minister who is...
Well, close enough. A bit higher than a Prime Minister.
like the President? Barack Obama.
Yeah, we're talking Barack
Oh,
Obama.
boy.
West
Big
Coast.
Eagles
man.
Tony Abbott, Julie Bishop.
Barack
Because of
Obama.
Julie, of
He
course.
looks like a wax museum
Yeah.
statue just there.
It
Like, that
could
doesn't
be.
look real.
The three of them could
does.
all be wax.
That doesn't
people.
look... Well, especially Barack Obama doesn't look real there.
Look how pissed off Tony Abbott would be
Yeah,
because
Tony-
he wants nothing to do with West Coast. Julie Bishop, board member of
Great.
West Coast, has just gone, you know what, Tony?
That's
just
clutch.
fuck off to the side here, mate. I'm injecting my
I'm
team
injecting
into this.
myself into
That's
this.
clutch
Into
from
this.
Julie.
Tony
Barack
Abbott would
Obama,
never know
number
what West
1.
Coast is.
Who would have been number 1 back in when that was taken, do you reckon?
When was it taken?
Who was before Liam Ryan?
So Liam Ryan was number 1. And before Liam
Who was the number
Ryan-
1 before Liam Ryan?
Well, YouTube, our friends on
Yeah,
YouTube.
can we get an
Yeah,
idea on
let us
who
know.
Liam Ryan...
That's
Who was number 1 before Liam Ryan?
That's
And
really
if
bad.
like if it's not,
Michael Gardner was 1, but that was a long
why
time.
would Barack Obama have got number 1?
Mitch Brown? Sam
Oh, yeah,
Mitchell
Sam
was
Mitchell,
number
there you
1,
go.
and Mitch Brown was before him.
So
Correct.
is Barack Obama a Sam Mitchell fan or what? Like, what's the significance behind one?
Number
there for
1.
Barack?
Wouldn't they should have
Legend.
given him like 47 or whatever, the president. You know, he's number
Yeah,
40.
that would have been good. Or like, anything but 1. Anyway, so
What is number 1 going to be?
Yeah, so we're talking like this one for me is just the most rogue. of
DL.
anything.
The first name that yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you go first name potentially.
He's a celebrity. And I was like, but I don't feel like it beats Barack Obama. But like Dennis Lilly is a
No,
DL.
it's not Dennis
Okay.
Lilly. So I would like you to. So it's firstly rogue because it has just like it's just as far away from football as humanly possible. This person.
Yes.
1. 2, we're talking world leaders. Like this guy he's right up there with all time world. Like he's a leader of. He's a pinnacle of
The
world
Dalai
leaders.
Lama.
The Dalai fucking Lama.
Oh my fucking god!
Collingwood.
And he's in Collingwood.
He has got. He's having a meet and greet with Haridia Lumumba, and he's been given the number 8, the Dalai Lama. He's got his offside monk to the right of him, just like sitting there, like, oh, here you go, mate. He's looking at that thinking, what the fuck am I looking
What
at?
am I
here?
holding?
He's been wearing his long flowing red robes for his whole life, and now he's got this black and white jersey to put on.
I reckon
mean,
he wore that to bed.
The Dalai Lama.
Not knowing enough
That's
about
good.
the Dalai Lama, other than
No,
I think
couldn't
he
tell you what
does-
his day-to-days
I think he
are.
does represent peace, love, and
Oh, he's a Buddhist monk, I think.
yeah.
Isn't he?
So
Yeah. Could be Tibetan.
I
or
think
something.
probably what he embodies as an individual probably could be the opposite
The
of what
complete
Collingwood
antithesis of football
fans
and
op-
Collingwood.
Like,
Mm.
do you mean?
Yeah, gotcha.
Like, this is effectively like, and the opposite again. We're like, no, it'd be like God holding Collingwood jumper.
Yeah, well, it's just that's what he's there for.
Okay, great.
Anyway, the Dalai Lama for me is the most rogue.
That is.
Yeah,
That
There
is
you go.
brilliant.
World leaders, hammer breaks.
I've
Top
got to be
5
honest.
rogue moments.
I think you've got it wrong. I think you've got it wrong. I personally would have had to have Samuel L. Jackson taking the hangover. I know you're ranking them on celebrity status, but
I'm ranking them on rogueness.
if Dalai Lama had been taking a hanger on like Gary Moorcroft or something like that in an Essendon jumper, that would be fucking good. Reenacting the Gary Moorcroft, but like you don't need strings or anything. Like Dalai Lama's just like holding himself in the air,
or just doing the Leo Barry Sydney Swan to Mark.
Very good.
Oh, there you go. Hammer ranks.
Hammer
Dalai
ranks.
Lama, good.
You are off to training, I think, Hammer, very shortly.
Yeah, very shortly.
Good win on the weekend.
Yeah,
for
great
East
win.
Perth.
Three points against the reigning premiers. So always
Three
nice.
votes.
Hey, do you like the new set?
God, no.
You like the new set?
Love the new set. I just said it as I was walking
New
in.
cameras,
It's cool. New
new
cameras,
set.
new
Yep.
setup,
Little
new
black,
light.
little black eye.
Nick.
Yeah, little black eye. Tough.
Do you want to have a guess what the jumpers represent at the back there?
What do we got?
Sydney, Geelong. Oh, it's the ladder. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes,
Mitch Brown was number 1 for West Coast.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It took me 2 jumpers.
Sydney,
That's a lot.
Sydney, Geelong.
Very
Shout out
good.
to D Webster on the comments who got it as well.
Oh, well done,
Only
D.
one.
Webster.
Thanks, Webby.
Joshy Nados on the comments said Mitch Brown number 1.
Yeah,
Mitch
correct.
Brown was number 1. Yeah, there you go.
So Gardner,
I mean, Gardner Brown.
Brown.
Yeah, so Gardy finished in like 2005. So Brownie got drafted with me in 06.
yeah.
Makes
I think
sense.
might have finished in 06. Brownie for like decent amount of time there. Brownie he was there till 2012, 13, and
you
then
go.
16.
and then Liam. Oh wow, sorry, Brownie.
Yeah, well, then Mitch would have had it for a year and then Liam Ryan.
Yeah, wow.
Michael Gardner
Yeah.
before, Brett Heddy, Don Pike, Wally Matera. All
Yes.
the ones at the Eagles.
I wish I knew all this
Good
before
fight.
I chatted to Sam Mitchell, but I didn't, and I'm going to ask him right now about why Anthony Albanese was in the circle as we chat to him. Goodbye, Hamish
See ya,
Brayshaw.
See you, mate. See
A
you
big
Friday.
thanks to ID Athletic for bringing us our guests every week this year. Right now, Sam Mitchell. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, very excited to have this man on the podcast. BackChat brings you Sam Mitchell all the way from Melbourne. He's had a few wardrobe changes. He's made a call to his wife, Lyndall. She has put it across. He's okay to come on. He's got his sponsors looked after. Mitch, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you. And obviously you had a late cancellation for getting me on as a late call-up. So I'm not sure what's happening, but people are running from this segment regularly and you've got me here somehow.
You are a head coach of a football side in the AFL, Mitch, so you are quite high up on our list of people we like to talk to. I just know you're a busy man. So, mate, if we can get into some stuff, I haven't spoken to you, gave you a few texts back and forward, but, mate, I don't want to be flippant about this, but given that we played together for a bit, you coached me for a bit, I know you wouldn't have been carrying on. Trip to New York, are you going to get one of those in anytime soon? It didn't feel like that went to plan. You had your luggage stolen. You spent a fair amount of time in the emergency department. Not ideal.
No, but yeah, I actually want to get back there quite quickly because otherwise I'll never go back. My kids saw it on a TV show the other day. We're watching something and my wife's like, "Oh, I don't want to see New York." And my kid's like, "Can we go back? Can we go back?" I'm like, "I'm ready." We're not. My wife's not quite ready yet, but we'll get back eventually.
So, given we've got a decent West Australian audience here, Mitch, lucky that your good mate Adam Simpson was in town for that. I mean, that's by chance, obviously, but it was written out. It was written over in the media over here that Adam Simpson saved your life. I'm assuming he wasn't in the operating room when they were discussing what to do with you, but it was good you had a mate in town.
Well, I didn't know a lot of what was happening. I was sort of close to unconscious. And I was going to catch up with him that night for dinner. And so Lyndall said, "Oh, I know he's in town. And so I need someone to look after the kids." So Lyndall rang him and said, "Can you help?" And then, he didn't realize quite how serious it was. So he sent a photo of like my son, who's 13 at the time, with a beer and like chips and stuff, like having a bit of a laugh, like, "Hey, I've got the kids, no worries." So we had a bit of and in hindsight, very funny. It's a great photo, but at the time, sort of went over the head. But later on, we had a good chuckle about it. But I was very pleased he was there.
It's good that you can laugh about it now. And as much as I like taking the piss out of you because we're good mates, it is good to see you here, mate. And I know you wouldn't have been carrying on. It would have taken a fair bit to get you into hospital, I think. Now, let's talk footy. Been a good block of competitive footy for Hawthorn. 3 of the last 4 wins. You must be happy looking at the last month of footy.
Oh, yeah, yes and no. I mean, coaches always want utopia, don't they? The loss we had was a really, really bad one. And at the time, it seemed even worse because we lost by 70 points. it was to Sydney, who since then have just continued on. And every time I watch them, I feel a little bit better about that loss because they're obviously going very, very well this year. So, but they were just far too good for us. And I actually said in my press conference, which might have been an error, but I said, I thought we actually tried hard today. Like, it wasn't a lack of effort; they were just too sharp. And I think they just were a bit more talented, and their work ethic was phenomenal for a side as good as they are. And but the other 3 games, we've been able to find a way to make progress, and we handled the scoreboard much better in the last 2 weeks, which has got us wins.
I just having a look across your team, and I will come back to this. The teams that are getting put out and how much time you're spending on what actually goes out to the public. And just remember that I'll come back. But you're missing your entire spine right now, Hawthorn. Like, there's no Sicily on the weekend. Blank did his ACL in the pre-season effectively. Mitch Lewis was out in the weekend, and Mubby or Chol. You don't have a spine. So to be competing and winning games of footy, I don't think it's any mean feat.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with. You still put out the same amount of players, right? So, and they're all learning the same system. There are some players like, Kel Shadir is a fantastic story. I'm not sure how much you would have seen over in WA, but his father passed away. He's a Norm Smith medalist, and we drafted him as a father-son, but quite late in the draft last year. And really, you draft those guys, and you would have known. You'll be thinking of a few when you draft them, and you say, "Oh, he's a project. We'll see him in a couple of years and see if he's made progress."
Yeah.
We drafted him, and that's probably what we thought. And then before you know it, he's actually kicking some goals in the VFL. He's taking some marks, and you're thinking, "Oh, this." And then the opportunity came up, and he didn't. When he got his first game, I thought there's a chance that he is just not anywhere near ready for this. But to his credit, and I think Jack Gunston has been enormous for him in guiding him along. But when you get those guys who can play a role for you, he's not Mitch Lewis at this point in his career, but the replacements we've had have been able to play their role and do their job. So that makes it a bit easier.
Very good. I like it. So given some injuries to your list, I think, look, this isn't a Sam Mitchell-Hawthorn thing. I see this across the AFL every week. Yeah, I think you're getting a little bit creative with the team that goes to afl.com.au and in the paper on weekends. I saw Will Day listed at centre half back. Who are you blokes bluffing? When I say you blokes, I don't mean Hawthorn's image. I mean head coaches, because you all do it. I've seen West Coast do it. I've seen Freo do it. Mate, Will Day centre half back. And what do I see? The first bounce of the game, Will Day playing in the middle. Did something happen pre-game that you decided to take him out of the back line?
It's actually a gripe of mine too. My first year, they kept asking me, "How do you want the team named? How do you want?" And I said, "I don't care how you want the team." And last year with the sub, you had to have this. The sub had to come from the bench, but this year it doesn't have to. And I said, "Can you just send in the team in number order? So just number 1 in the back pocket, number 2 at fullback, number 3 in the back pocket, number 4 at halfback flank,
right,
etc." And they said, I think we'll get a please explain for that." But really, no one looks at that team. I get a text message from a fan or someone who I know probably once a fortnight saying, "Why on earth is Hardwick forward or back?" Or "Why on earth is Will Day centre half back?" There's something like that, and you just let it go to the keeper, and by the time the game starts, we work it out.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Sam.
John Kavara, he's the person you want to hunt down. He's the one who puts the team in.
Okay, I don't think it's a Hawthorn issue, so I'm not trying to cause drama here, but I always have a bit of a chuckle to myself. Now, I did text you on the weekend. Anthony Albanese, Prime Minister of Australia, in your team song. Brilliant. How good's that?
That's not what you text me.
Well, mate, I'm just leaving this wide open. I don't want to tread on any toes. I don't know, who's the Australian Secret Service. I don't want any issues. I'm just saying it was good to see him in the middle or wherever he was.
Well, so I'll tell you how that happened. We had him, so we came to the opening of our new training facility, the turning of the sod in the pre-season. Obviously, the federal government are enormous in supporting football teams in their building of their facilities, etc., as West Coast would know in particular with their fantastic new facility that's been there for a couple of years. But I think we had him there for that, and then he had to be in Tassie for budgetary meetings and presentations that day, and he was a Hawks fan, so he was able to fit in the game. And it was I don't think there's vision of it, but he did not really want to get in the song, and the boys were like, "Come, Albo," and they were chanting it. And the whole energy of the room it was like just he was peer pressured into it 100%. And the boy, like singing this song with I'm not sure that's ever happened before. It was a good chuckle after. But I have received mixed reviews on it.
Yeah, well, fair enough, I think. But that's good. I rate that from the boys. Being able to peer pressure the Prime Minister of Australia into singing a song in the rooms after a win. How good.
Well, I must admit, from the players' point of view, like I don't think they know which party he would be from, but the fact that he is he's the leader of our country. So regardless of where you sit in politics, if you've got the leader of your country that supports your team, then that's something I think is pretty special, and it. That's something they won't appreciate now. But one day they'll say, I sung a song with the Prime Minister of Australia. It's going to be a trivia question for sure.
Yeah, correct. I like it overall. That's where I probably landed on it after I did send you some feedback on the weekend. Now, I want to talk about your back line here at BackChat. We are trying to champion, and I can't say that word. I know why I keep trying to say it. I keep stuffing it up. We're trying to give the respect Backman deserve in the media here at BackChat. So we've sponsored athletes around the AFL at each club. Jack Frost is our Hawthorn man. We like how he
Sam
goes.
Frost, I hope you mean. If you're going to support our players, can you get their names right?
I'm not sure why
please?
I said Jack Frost. I'm a bit rattled because I tried to say
that's his brother.
Championing. I still can't say it. Thank you, Mitch.
Champion. Yeah.
Championing. Right. So Sam Frosty, we love the way he goes about it. He's a dour operator. He gets the ball. He runs straight at goals. Makes a few errors, but we like how he goes about it. I like how your backline has come together. I know there's a couple of players missing, but I feel like if you look at it as a collective, it's doing some pretty good things. They look like they defend well, which I know is very important in the backline, but they're able to move the footy well with an impy and an aim on, and guys that are sort of able to do a role. How have you seen them playing over, especially a few wins over the last month?
Bit of a work in progress, if I'm honest, around the back line. We suspected. I mean, Carl Amon's a really interesting one. He's been a near All-Australian winger type, but we love his kicking, and we love what he can do to set the field up, and his running power is excellent. So being able to use him as that highest defender was something we wanted to explore. And Blake Hardwick, moving him, our most consistent performer for 6 or 7 years, probably, moving him away from there. We knew there were some risks associated, and it's been a bit of a challenge, especially in the early part of the year. But Seamus Mitchell coming back into the side has helped us. I think Jack Scrimshaw's form has been nice and consistent. It's the most consistent block of footy that he's played through his career. So when those two guys have come back into the side and been able to play well, and then Frosty, he's had his people that have knocked him across his career, but he's been really consistent for us. And the challenge we have is we just don't have a big monster. Obviously, we had James Blank sort of pen for that at the start of the season, and when he went down, we just don't have. I think our tallest defender's sort of 194, so we just struggle on the really big guys sometimes. But for the most part, they've been holding up well.
I watched. There was a fair bit of coverage over. Some feedback you gave to some players at the MCG a few weeks back, which I watched on with a nice smile on my face, to be honest. Bring your mouth guards was a quote that was used after it. Again, I had a bit of a smile with that. I saw Lee Matthews comment, who's one of the great coaches of all time and players. And he said, as a head coach, you got to remember that not only are you speaking to the fans and the media when you speak in press conferences and doing stuff like this, but you're actually speaking to players. Can you reflect on that statement? Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, it's one of the things you're not perhaps as prepared for as a head coach. But every time you speak, I remember very early on, I did it might have been actually with you, but I sort of said something that was one of those little, podcasts or press conference things that you think will just go through the key, but no one will ever remember that you said that. And then it got brought up 6 months later, and it's like, oh, when you're the head coach, people actually listen and they remember what you say. And if they ever can use it against you, it stays in the ether, right? So I think with every presentation that you do, someone's listening, and whether that's parents of players, whether it's fans, whether it's opposition fans, opposition coaches, someone's always listening. So you need to make sure that you're saying things that if any of those people hear it, that you're okay with that. So you've got to be nice and consistent in your your discussions and what you say, because you'll get caught out if you're telling something to someone and something else to a different group.
I've saved the best till last. I know you've got a busy schedule, so we do appreciate your time here on BackChat. But I wanted to finish off on the most important topic, which is Tottenham in the last round of the EPL need to beat Man City for Arsenal to win the title. And I know you have a very strong relationship with Ange Postecoglou. We've seen you gallivanting around at training and you're getting in the rooms and you're on leadership trips to go and hang out with Ange. Can we get a win over the line from your Tottenham hot spoils? Because you're a big fan and I'm a big Arsenal fan. We need them to win, Mitch.
The fact that the only way Arsenal can win the league is for Tottenham to win. I think I did see a great, would you rather Arsenal win the league or Tottenham get relegated? And Arsenal fans are genuinely on the fence about those two things. That's the hatred for the non-soccer fans watching. So I think that if Ange, Ange in his Australian spirit, he'll throw the game 100%. There's no way he'll try to beat Man City to let Arsenal win. That's just not. It's un-Australian.
You're such a Tottenham supporter. Like literally, only a Tottenham supporter would say that. Look. I know you have.
I'm saying it to you because I know it'll wind you right up.
I know you have a connection. Can we just get at least a competitive effort? Can we at least get what you just said is going to happen? Can we not have that? Can we have a competitive effort?
My honest desire, and I always, aim for the stars, is that we win, but then Arsenal, because all the games, for those who don't follow the EPL like us, every game is played at exactly the same time.
Yes.
So if Tottenham end up beating Man City, but Arsenal lose, that'd be as good as winning the championship. Actually, that'd be as good as winning the league.
So yeah, Tottenham win. Arsenal for I don't know a few minutes would have won the title, and then they lose.
Yeah, that would be. And then they don't quite get there. They get pipped at the end. That'd be therapeutic, I think.
Mate, it's been good to see you guys winning some games of footy. We're big Hawthorn fans here at the podcast. Mate, it's been good to see you alive and well as well. Thanks for joining us today, mate. And your hair looked great. Hopefully Lyndall's happy.
Took a bit of work. Thanks, Scully. Enjoy the rest of your show, mate.
What a guy. Sam Mitchell.
What is happening? Is that the in-betweeners?
Wearing Hawks Guernseys. Honourable mention for the random fans supporting teams in the AFL.
If you've just joined us, we went through. Oh my
Look at him.
gosh!
Geelong, Maggie, Sydney, Hawks.
So Hammer ranks.
That's ranked.
Hammer's well, it's
Good.
ranked.
Oh, what is he? What is that?
What jumper is that? Is it St Kilda's alternative strip they wore one year?
Like vintage kid or something.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Wow.
So the Hammer ranks today, we went through celebrity insertions effectively, like Anthony Albanese was doing.
Doing the rounds.
Yeah, nice little bit of insight there. A bit of peer pressure from the Hawthorn players.
Well, I was saying like,
if the whole West Coast
it's
team was
cringe.
chanting, Dan, you would literally...
We're flying high! I'd be in the middle.
You would squeal your way...
Could you imagine? I can only imagine your reaction to that. Like at the game.
I might leave. Like if I was in the circle, I wouldn't be chanting. I'd be like, "Can we wrap this
Please
up?"
don't.
And then you would come in like ripping your shirt like around, like doing the fucking Kevin Sheedy
I'm
jacket.
spraying Gatorade everywhere.
Right.
First gamer.
So look, I had a good bit of fun with Kane Corns last week on social media.
He called out Harley Reid because he couldn't run out a game. He cramped up late in the fourth.
Yes.
I think he was in the forward line, sort of hobbled around a little bit and just said, look, maybe if you want to be compared to someone like, I don't know, Nick Dacos, and he said Nick Dacos, he said, take a look at your training standards. I don't know what they are, but probably need a lift. If you can't run out a game, if you're cramping and you want to be elite, then look elsewhere.
It cut right to the hearts and souls of West Coast fans like you, him having to go at Harley.
Well, look, the thing is, it was a dumb take, and you could even
though.
tell the people on
lots of dumb
the
takes.
panel were like, I don't think that's it, Kane.
Why was it dumb?
It was very dumb because he's played 7 games. He's a kid. He's 18. Like, just let him. He hasn't even had a proper preseason.
And what did you say on the weekend that makes
So then
it
I'm
dumber?
watching the Collingwood game. Collingwood West Coast. Great game of footy. Fucking whatever. No, we just got absolutely pantsed for various reasons. 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes 30, 2 minutes 20 left in the fourth quarter. Nick Dacos runs out of bounds, slides over, and then he pulls up a bit sore. I'm thinking, oh no, he's hurt himself.
Yeah, I saw this. I thought he'd done his knee.
So then he's hobbling. I'm like, oh no. And then I see it's the cramp. It's the wincing of a cramp in his leg. And he's a bit gingerly walking, and I think, oh, okay. So he's cramped up.
This is the infection.
I thought maybe I'll take it to Twitter. I'm just going to say, hey, just so you know, Nick Dacos, 2 minutes 20. Can he run out of game? Do we need to question his fitness? Someone's there, like, I got so many like threats and stuff from Collingwood fans. Oh, fuck it, like whatever. People with their like anonymous Twitter names were coming at me.
Collingwood fans are too easy.
They're so easy. You put out a bit of Burley and they all come scurrying from every corner of the earth. Nick Dacos cramps up, and then I thought, well, let's listen to what he has to say. Maybe he actually did have an injury.
So Nick spoke.
Nick spoke after
to
the
us?
game. Not to us. He spoke to the Fox commentary team. Let's just have a listen.
How are you feeling? And you had a bit of a skid at the end. Is the knee okay? Is the body okay?
Yeah, body's okay. I got put full forward at the end just to have a little rest, and both calves cramped. So not what we need, but tough game. Both calves cramped. Both calves cramped. Both calves cramped. Both calves cramped.
Wow, so you're telling me Nick Dacos, the most elite player in the AFL, so fit, Kane Corns, that he can do whatever he wants, run marathons like you because you're a legend. He goes up forward to have a little rest because he's tired. Okay, he goes up forward, has a rest, and he cramps up both of them. Both calves cramp up. Both, not even one. Both of them. Like, learn to run out of game, Nick. Are you that bad? You're unfit.
Did Harley cramp on the weekend? I don't think he did.
He didn't.
Maybe
I
Nick
did see Harley running around wincing.
Nick might need to start looking at Harley.
I think the tables are turned. Nick, if you want to be an elite sportsman, if you want to have elite fitness, if you want to be able to run out a game, you need to look to Harley Reid.
I told you I didn't want a war against Kane Corns. You have just completely ignored me.
The thing is, we got demolished by 80 points or something, so I have to take whatever little victories that we have.
You've taken a few highlights out of this game. So, yes, Nick Dacos cramped, which I think is hilarious, by the way. I just didn't
Nick Dacos is so good.
I didn't want the week I had last week. I just, my phone was just, notified out of its brain.
Don't get me wrong. Nick Dacos is, the best player. He's so bloody good. He's incredible. He's too good. But it was just so easy, little bait to throw out there.
Jack Darling has just been cleared by the MRO for this one. Can we have a look at this incident? So Jack Bytel pushed by Tom Cole. It looked bad, right?
Bad. Yep.
I'm not going to go fully into this one. I'm going to keep the episode moving. Yep. But Jack's been cleared. There's no case to answer for.
Yes.
I believe there's a quote here that says, the incident involved... the match review officer said Darling's contact with Bytel, who was playing his first game for the Magpies, was predominantly caused by circumstances outside of the control of Darling, and no further action was taken.
I think it's a sensible outcome.
It actually is, right? And we've seen a lot of these come up over the last couple of weeks, the first 8 weeks of the season, and I think it might be the first one that looks to have been adjudicated by the action and not the outcome. Jack Bytel was subbed out of the game.
Yes.
With concussion because of the incident. So that's the outcome.
Yep.
The action, there was no malice. There was no intent. Jack was running towards the footy. There was a bit of a push from Jack Bytel. You don't know that's going to happen. Jack's hip made contact with his head and knocked him out. You can't argue that.
Yep.
But it was a footy accident even. It wasn't even an incident.
Same thing happened with Jai Amos and Jeremy McGovern at
Correct.
the Derby, right?
Correct. Right. Yeah, that is a good point. But this one here, I thought he was going to get a week because they're trying to protect their head.
Yeah, and they were running at it. It was a bit of a contest.
So I think maybe we've seen a bit of a turning point.
Maybe Hammer's letter got to the AFL.
Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me. It got enough. Did we get a letter back?
No, nothing yet.
We didn't really ask for a response, though.
No, we didn't. The ABC did.
They got a letter back?
No, they asked for a response from the AFL and they had no comment.
What about this one? So commentating this game with 6PR, I saw this guy at least 6 times on the footage before this incident happened. Can we have a look at this, please? So this is Harvey Johnson playing his second game of AFL football. A man,
Who's that guy?
a man with tattoos all over his face. Which I got to be honest. If he was sitting right here, I'd tell him how good they look.
Of course you would.
I'm not sure he's the least intimidating person you'd ever come across.
So he's just grabbed him on the head.
So you're going to have a look about this.
He's
My take is about to be absolutely play on. So there's a growing support of people like you going, you can't touch the players, we can't set a precedent.
Yep.
There was an incident with Marlon Pickett maybe last year. A guy got a decent amount of ban. I don't know what ban it was. If you watch this, can we all play that again if possible? If you watch the smile on Harvey Johnson's face, if you watch the care that this bloke, there is not an ounce of malice.
Nah. Not.
This is not done in trying to affect him. In fact, he probably stood up because he thought the ball was about to bounce up. Caught him, gave him a hug, gave him a pat on the back.
Stole the ball.
I think
You like that?
play on.
Guaranteed, if you ran out and someone did that to you, you would have been filthy.
That is an interesting question to
There
pose.
is. It doesn't matter. Like, sure, there was nothing really that negative that came out of it, but you have to just be black and white with it. Because then the next time someone touched someone, well, what about the last guy? I didn't mean anything by it. What if someone doesn't want to be touched? No one wants to be touched. No one comes into your workplace and just starts like grabbing you around the head.
Right. I mean, that is probably another good point.
If someone walked into our office and just goes, "Yeah, mate, you little scum," no malice.
So if someone came in and was like, "G'day, mate, good to see you," like, and had like absolutely no threatening way about them,
Yeah, and grabbed you around the head.
Crack the shit.
I'd be like, "Please never touch me again."
Right. So can we just do that? Surely there's no like, we don't need to ban this man from going to games.
Don't ban him for
Can't
life.
we just be like, "Hey, mate,
you got to
like,
give him a fine or something."
No. See, that's where I'm. No, can't we just say, "Hey, mate, we can't do that." I mean, I didn't mean anything, but you can't touch the players. Can't we just do that?
You're saying precedent
Of what?
of fans allowing to touch players, and there's no repercussions.
But what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I probably shouldn't say that.
What if that guy had a little razor or something?
Yeah, okay. So should we put a glass wall up? And
No, just how often does that happen?
Indian cricket, I think they have like metal cages.
All right,
should we
so
do
that's
that?
happened twice in 2 years, but in the last 10 years, how many times?
Not very
other
often.
than the guy that gave someone a headlock, who gave? Wasn't there like in the old in 90s football? Someone was at the
someone
at the-
West
so-
Coast or
so-
North Melbourne,
someone was
Corey
at a
McKernan
headlock.
or someone getting.
Yeah.
What
So
about the James Hird hug with the fan? Do we want to lose moments like that?
no, but Hirdy went in for it.
Hang on. So you're allowed to do that?
If
I thought
the
you just said we don't want.
If the player runs in and grabs them, they're obviously giving consent to do it.
Did they speak about the consent?
Doesn't matter. If James Hird ran at me with arms wide open,
Brilliant
Creed style,
example, Nick. It's
No,
a brilliant
but
example.
he initiated
Look
it.
at him nodding his head away. Give me a look at it.
All right, whatever. Don't just. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter what I think.
Let's hear from our good friends at Paywise.
Hi, I'm Will, and I'm a backman.
Hi, I'm Gov, and I'm a Paywise ambassador.
And you're a backman.
And a Paywise ambassador. And a lot of people are always asking me what a novated lease is about.
What exactly do you tell them about, mate? Spoiling, winning premierships, all Australians, mate. It's all you're good for. You're a backman.
Yeah, and more. Scully, you're a big dog in the media now, arguably the biggest in Australia if you ask yourself. I've spoken to a lot of Paywise customers, and I'm a man of the people.
Is that right? Man of the people. What do you speak to the customers about? Your All-Australian jackets you won while I was playing on your man in the back line?
I wouldn't even know where my All-Australian jackets are, actually. But I do know the best way to get a new car is through Paywise novated leasing.
Is that right?
Guaranteed.
Tell you what, champion, you sound like you know a lot about novated leases. Tell me all about it.
Well, novated leases allow you to pay for your car using pre-tax income. So you pay much less tax and save heaps of money.
Save heaps of money. Now, it's all starting to make sense why Moneybags McGovern wants to get involved.
No, I'm serious. It does not matter how much money you make. Novated leases from Paywise allow you to make one payment each payday. And that covers your vehicle finance, insurance, registration, fuel, servicing and tyres.
You right there, mate? You better tell Maddie then, because she runs all your bank accounts, doesn't she?
Yes, she does, and as you know, Skelly, happy wife, happy life. We made it. There's a calculator on the Paywise website that shows you what the costs are based on the type of car, your salary, how much you drive. Check it out and find out how much you'll save with Paywise.
Does the calculator calculate how much of your contract you're going to have to give to Harley to keep in the club next year?
No, it depends how his back holds up, because I've been carrying you for the last 10 years.
Okay, righto. Well, we're Backman. We love Paywise. If you want to find out more, contact Paywise today about novated leasing. In danger of you actually letting your lines, big fella?
I am a backman, not a lineman, a backman.
We know.
Yeah, I know. We all know.
You've got the touch. You got the power.
You should see the hands that we have in our studio. What are we gonna do with these hands?
Hammer doesn't know about them. Can we? Nick, can
next.
someone
Okay.
can someone sneak in the back of the set here? And there's one down there. So you've got the touch.
You've got the power.
Thanks to TABtouch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen the ads, but right now, if we,
Oh my! It looks so real.
it is real. This may as well be like. This feels like skin, sort of.
Yeah.
So the new ads going around, you've got the touch. It's like this extendable hand that runs around. We've got the actual hands. Like this is one of them.
Have we got 3 of them?
There's giant tubes.
Oh yeah, there's one back there. There's that boxing glove that's behind Scoey. If you move the boxing glove, there'll be a hand there. You can move it, Jules. There's a hand. There's a hand.
All right. So
we love the hand.
We loved the hand, and we loved our friends at TABtouch. So we're going to come up with a way to prank Hammer. So if you're watching along on the YouTube, you're listening along, you want to send us an idea, I'd like to know.
The only thing we have so far is like me having my hand back there and then like having the hand come and touch his shoulder, but then I move my arm and it's still there.
Okay. That's
something
good.
like that.
That's actually quite good.
Yeah. I think Nick came up with that.
Great on.
Jaiden. Sorry, it was Jaiden. This is Jaiden. Anyways, you got the touch, you got the power. TABtouch.
So good friends at TABtouch bringing you the BackChat Backman of the Year, the Jack Buckley Medal, of course. Plenty going on this week. Plenty going
really
on.
Exciting.
This is the award that represents what Backman should be and how they should be respected within our game. It awards 3, 2, and 1 votes once a week to find the ultimate Backman. And of course, Jack Buckley was the.
Please stop. Oh, he's interlocked the fingers.
Jack Buckley was the. Jack Buckley was the.
I can't.
Jack Buckley was the first
inaugural winner
of the
BackChat Backman. So we made a coin thanks to the Perth Mint. Coined a medal after
That's
it.
correct. And of course, the algorithm decides the votes each and every week. I'm going to put this hand down because it's freaking me out.
Yep.
Excuse me.
It's all right.
1 vote.
Yes.
In the BackChat Backman of the Year, thanks to TABtouch. Liam Jones.
Jonesy.
He is having a decent year. That's not his first votes this run. This will take him to 2 votes. So must have had a solitary vote. Playing some good footy. Not good enough for 3 votes.
No.
Did they win on the weekend? Trying to think.
Nick?
They smashed Richmond.
They did.
They did smash Richmond, and they were always going to. So, of course, the Western Bulldogs just have Jonesy just floating around doing his thing. Hang on a second. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm just lurking around. 2 votes.
2 votes. Do you want me to read it out?
No, 2 votes. Sorry, I was just checking something.
Okay.
Sam Collins.
Sam Collins. We love Sam Collins.
We bloody love Sam Collins. We love how he goes about it. He's moved himself into 3rd place.
Where he should be. On the podium.
Alongside Jacob Wietering. That's very good. 5 votes. 2 votes go to Sam Collins. Look, that was in a win as well, in a big win against North Melbourne. So they've beat up on a couple of sides. The algorithm decides it, though. I can tell you that right now. And this player right here, ladies and gentlemen, at the top of the table, we did have Alex Pearce and Harris Andrews on 8 votes each. I'm happy to announce sitting by himself as the sole leader for the BackChat Backman of the Year is our good friend at the Brisbane Lions, the captain of the team, Harris Andrews, 3 votes.
So good. We love Harris Andrews. We got some vision. We got good vision of Harris.
Give me a bloody look at him.
Doing great things.
Give me a look at him. This is in the draw. You can just imagine what would have happened without Harris Andrews.
Big
Bang.
fist on it. Yeah, we love that.
Wowee. Free entry inside 50. Oh my gosh, that is absolute.
Just wrestled.
Imagine trying to mark it. That's Himmelberg. He couldn't get anywhere near that. This one I very much like. Are we going to get to see it? Oh boy. Strong man.
This is the one.
Darcy Fogarty. This is the one I thought.
Out in a paddock. Checking up behind his
6
shoulder.
minutes to go in the third quarter.
No.
Holds on to Isaac Rankin so it looks like
Veteran
he's
move.
tackling him, and
You
the
are
crowd
kidding.
was spewing,
So
absolutely spewing.
That was a deliberate out of bounds every day of the week, but he
Great sport.
he just did enough to make it look like it wasn't.
Bloody hell.
Veteran move.
Brilliant stuff. Harris Andrews, he takes the lead. We might have to speak to him next week on the podcast, I
Great.
think.
Yeah. Keen as.
So he's gone to the top, 11 votes. Alex Pearce, second place, 8 votes. Sam Collins, Jacob Wiedering. These are all defenders, by the way.
Look,
They're defenders. Like defenders, real defenders.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those top 6 there
Jack
are
Buckley.
just the guys that we want.
Charlie Ballard, Jack Buckley, Ben Miller, right? These sort of players going very
Darcy
well.
Moore's not far off it.
Yeah, correct. There's some players putting their hands up, and you can catch it all here on BackChat. The race is heading up. I believe the Jack
Update
Buckley is
on
lying around somewhere.
Just quick update on Liam Duggan, because we mentioned him on the podcast
We
on Friday, mate.
We requested something.
We requested if you could just get a little bit more involved, because one thing was lacking, and that's spoils.
Yes.
Guess how many registered on the weekend?
How many?
0.
You're kidding.
Not a single one.
You are kidding.
He did spoil the ball out of midair when it wasn't a contest. And
No spoils.
No spoils.
Have you given him that feedback?
No, well, I haven't seen it.
Did you say, hey, Duggo, how's the game on the weekend?
I don't know if it's...
How'd you go, mate? Oh, you lost? You lost by 10 goals? Maybe it's because you didn't spoil, big fella. You're the captain of the side, Duggo, and you expect people to fall in line behind you, and you can't spoil once.
I don't know if that's the sort of text that I could send him and that be okay.
Okay, I'm going to send it to him.
Please.
We did have a bet with TABtouch as well. We put into a simulation here on AFL 23, I think it is, out the front. We've rigged the PlayStation back up. We want to simulate something. We want to manifest something into happening in an AFL game, and bought a market with TABtouch.
We'll do it again. This week we had first goal kicker for the Port Adelaide Geelong game. We simulated it, CPU v CPU. Georgiades lined up first, sprayed it over the goalpost. Not sprayed, he kicked it over the goalpost, should have kicked it. Secondly, Jezza Cameron running, took a mark, kicked it in through the goals. Apparently touched on the line. There was no goal review, but it should have been a goal. Thirdly, Tom Atkins gets the ball running into 50, kicks a goal. So we thought, Tom Atkins is our guy.
This will happen.
We did a bit of research. Well, the guys at TABtouch said, hey, just so you know, Tom Atkins kicked 1 goal in his career. So
we wanted to give the punters something.
Not sure if we want to do that. So let's go all 3 of those guys for first goal.
How we go? I wasn't
Horn
there.
Francis, first goal.
Yeah, we would know in there.
None of those 3 players looked anywhere near scoring a goal. I think
the
Georgiades kicked the 4th goal.
I think the concept is sound.
Concept is sound, 100%.
Reality?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. They do it on. I've seen some guys do it with NBA, and the difference is there's 5 guys that it could be, so it's much more achievable. I think the concept is still sound. We can still make it work.
What about first clearance? I wonder if we can do that. I know it's not a Backman thing.
Yeah, we could do first
because
clearance.
then it's like 4-on-4.
Or first score.
Right.
And we could just pick the team. Like maybe it's more like that. I don't know.
All right, we'll come up with something good for you next week. You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. It's time for our brand new segment. I've got to be honest. This gets me up and about every time I hear it. That's right. You're just in time. If you've just joined us either on Twitter or on YouTube, if you're listening along, we're about to give you the most important news of the day, the BackChat back page. Welcome. Veteran St Kilda coach Ross Lyon believes restrictions on AFL runners delivering on-field messages have left coaches feeling like neutered dogs. Isn't that where they
They've had their balls chopped off.
So that's the comparison he's gone with?
Yep.
Okay. The Saints suffered their 4th loss in their past 5 games.
I'm sure that's what it was, but Ross.
On Saturday in Launceston, going down by 5 points in the scrappy contest. I'm happy for the AFL to hear this. It's not an excuse, Lyon said. Lyon wasn't helped by his side kicking just 7 goals and not making the most of their inside 50 entries. People say kick more goals and you'll get more opportunities, but it's still limited. From my end, I find that incredibly frustrating, as much as a neutered dog would.
I've got a question for you. Am I allowed to ask questions at this point?
Yeah.
Is Ross Lyon kissed on the proverbial a bit? Like, why does he get, like, no one's going after his head?
I don't know if there's a response needed. One of the managers of St Kilda's, Matthias Philippou, who was dropped on the weekend, has conceded error after voicing his criticism of Saints coach Ross Lyon on social media over the weekend. Ned Costello, shout out Ned, who is understood to manage Philippo's endorsements as opposed to his actual contractual situation. I will say, if I can just insert myself into this story, his contractual situation is managed over the period of like 2 meetings. It's a stock standard like management agreement. You sit down with the club, they either want you or they either want you or don't want you, and then you got to negotiate a deal. But it's like, it's not like a 365-day a year thing.
Yes. It starts again.
It's not finished yet. So, Ned Costello is understood to manage Philippo's endorsements, right? Took to X to publicise his displeasure with Lyon and his coaching impact on particular members of the St Kilda's playing group. Costello said, "Tell me who in the forward line has improved under Lyon.
Oh.
Mitch Owens, Max King, and Philippou." Probably just call him his first name, if you're his manager. Have gotten considerably worse under Lyon. When they came in young and just played, they looked exciting. He is destroying them. And my bank balance, says Costello, because he's... No, he didn't say that.
I was going to say, that's huge.
Nine's Tom Morris has since reported Costello regrets his actions, which included liking a post from another ex-user who claimed Lyon tries to control the club's football department. What's he thinking? What's Ned thinking? What's he actually...
a new guy.
Like, that's emotion. Everyone's human beings, right?
Yeah.
What's Ned had? I reckon he's had a couple of shelters, maybe a couple of whippersnappers, and thought, you know what, I'm feeding Ross here.
Yeah.
St Kilda's shit.
Yep.
And we're getting amongst it. Okay, that's it for the Back Chat Back Page. Join us next week. I like that.
That's so good.
I like that segment. If you do see anything, all right, and you want us to feature it on the Back Chat Back Page, send it in. hello@backchatpodcast.com.au will get us where we need to get to.
Can I give you a bit of breaking news? Don't know how accurate it is.
It could have been very relevant for the Backchat Back
No,
Page.
so this is from Dev Nara on YouTube.
You're welcome to insert this next time when we're doing the segment.
Okay,
But
sorry.
Don't give him the music.
Just sorting out.
Don't give him the music. I can hear you.
12-month ban for old mate who touched the West Coast player coming, apparently. Apparently. This is from Dev. Reputable.
Do you agree with that?
I think that's harsh.
What would you like to see happen?
Give him like a...
Slap on the wrist?
I would say this happens again from anyone, you're getting a ban. That's fair. Thanks, Dev.
I think we're a little bit too precious, Dan, if we're doing that.
Yep.
All right. 12 months.
I wish someone touched you while you were playing. You would have swung. Maybe not swung. You wouldn't have filthy.
I'm trying to think.
You would have said, mate, don't you fucking touch me.
I used to we're talking about, abuse, whether it's physical or mental, it's still abuse now. I used to get abused weekly from cheer squads. And you know how I dealt with it? I gave it straight back. Like straight back.
Yep.
So touching you come to the footy, you can't punch players, you can't slap players, you can't, but like, I don't know. What if they walk out of the ground and they get a pat in the back? Isn't that touching? What if you let a pat in the back? No.
Don't touch anyone. Give your hands to yourself. Hands off at hocking
okay.
is the saying at my son's primary school. Hands off at hocking.
Is that actually a thing?
Yep.
You got t-shirts and stuff. I don't want to get into that. That's not at all what we're talking about. BackChat sponsored athlete update.
Oh yeah.
Got some stuff happening. Of
Jack
course, we sponsor a player at every club, and we so far have given them absolutely nothing. But we will be shortly. Now, of course, at Brisbane, Harris Andrews is our sponsored athlete. But big news at Brisbane.
Ooh.
There was a debutant.
Oh, yes.
He was the sub. I'm not saying anything, but maybe that's why you didn't win Brisbane. Shadow Brain. Debuts. 3 kicks, 1 handball, 3 marks. Some of the best 3 kicks you'll ever see in your life. 3 marks, 2 tackles, 22% time on ground. So he's been injected late into the game. Shadow Brain. There was a tweet that went out that said Shadow Brain is the first Shadow Brain to have drawn at the Adelaide Oval against Adelaide.
It's very good.
Now that was just a watch and act for us over the weekend at Essendon. Mason Redman.
Oh boy,
officially on notice,
mate. He kicked a point, and I thought the message was loud and clear.
But did we put him on notice with the point?
No, we didn't.
Did we put it, Nick?
He promised us that he would never kick a goal again. Promised us. Looked us in the eye.
Have we made him aware of the fact that we know he's kicked the goal? Have you let him know on social media?
Can we clip up that video and then clip up the
Does he celebrate? Is there a celebration?
I haven't seen
What
it
sort
yet,
of
but-
goal
What
is
if,
it?
what if he
Anyone
runs
seen
with his
goal?
hands and like his head in his hands and he's like,
No, in soccer when they score a goal against
well,
the
that's-
side.
okay.
No, they score a goal against the side that they came from. Like if they get a transfer or whatever, they don't celebrate.
oh right,
You
I didn't
do you know that?
No, I didn't.
Right, so if they get traded or whatever,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they score that against them.
Oh, that's
They
when
just-
you really give
They
it to
walk
him.
off. No, they walk off. No celebration. No one goes near them.
What happens if he did his signature celebration,
Which
Oh,
is
the
which is
The-
the
Red Dog.
Red Dog?
yeah.
Do we?
I look.
Let's just do a bit of research on that. Maybe
We need to be a bit
make him-
clearer on this because this is big
Yeah.
repercussions to what. could
We're
be
saying it
happening
right
from
now,
this one.
Mason. Kick another goal. You cut.
Correct. Can we just have a look at this piece of vision we got lined up? Can we have a look at this? So this is our man Kel Shadir, who Sam Mitchell just spoke about in the interview.
Boom.
So that looks like a good spoil.
Great spoil.
Other than, the man he's spoiling is on his own team.
Yep.
What makes this even better? Kelsha's spoiled
So good.
Hardwick. That is in the forward line of Hawthorn.
That's so good.
So I just think that represents, look, let's all have a laugh about it. But if we talk about it seriously, I think that represents a true desire to want to spoil. If you can spoil your own
Yes.
teammate with no one on him
Yep.
in your own forward line, I think Sam Mitchell's playing him out of position.
Yep.
Fair?
He's trying to send a message to the club, say, put me where I belong.
Correct. He wants to be a backman, and I bloody love it. Well done, Coach. You're really bloody good. All right? You got respect
Great.
here at BackChat.
Love it.
And the West Coast Eagles, Tom Barris got one coach's vote. I wonder who gave that to him. Is that Collingwood or West Coast? I reckon that's a Collingwood.
That's a Collingwood. He was that good.
He was unbelievable.
So
they lost
good.
by 70
Alex
points.
Witherden was also very good.
He was. They lost by 70. Without those two, it's 150.
The midfield just
Disgrace.
gave it to Collingwood the entire
disgraceful.
time. And they just, that was
7 goals from centre bounce. I asked Adam Simpson this on the SCO down over at
Can't wait
West
to listen.
Coast. I asked him specifically about centre bounce clearances, and he never would say it, but I will say it. It is completely the responsibility of the midfielders to stop those from happening. They had 13 inside 50s from centre bounce.
Why is it that? Oh, we don't probably have time to get into this too much, but the midfield in the previous weeks have looked so good, winning
Elliot Yeo's
clearances,
been different.
stoppages. Is it just Elliot Yeo?
Yeah, Collingwood's good too.
Tim Kelly was just nowhere.
Collingwood, Nick Dacos, Jack Cripps, and Scott Pendlebury. Like Scott Pendlebury's been around a little bit.
Scott Pendlebury deliberately tripped Harley Reid, by the way, who
He's seen
should
some
probably get a week.
I did say that.
Mate, like you see the vision, he puts his leg up, fully trips him over. That's a week.
No, he's a
See
good-
you, Scott.
He's a good bloke. He's
See
played
you,
over
mate.
300 games. Has he played over 400 yet? No, he's played a lot of footy. Footy tips, thanks to Alford. $250 voucher for round now and going to Matty D. Big Matty D.
Is that Matty D?
It could be Matty D.
Matty D?
He got 8 out of 9, 6
What?
point margin, sits second on the table now.
Oh,
so
okay.
he's
So he
injecting
knows what
himself
he's
into the
doing.
contest. Absolutely.
Great.
Very, very good.
I'm doing woeful at it. I don't even want to talk about it.
I would just like, before we move on, to have a look at this Mason Redmond goal. I think we've got it available.
wow.
Can we have a little look at it? Is that potentially... Oh, no. Is that... Yeah, great. Wow, wait. What?
Don't tell me.
It's fine. It's fine. He's kicked it from outside 50. It's absolutely fine. It's a set shot from outside 50. He's given it...
and he loved it.
And he's absolutely celebrated it. Mate, scores level against a good side, and the man of the mark was saying outside 50.
Okay.
Last chance?
Last chance.
Look where he's marked it. That's outside of 50.
And David Roden, goal umpire. It's hard.
Scores a level.
You want to
in
make that man happy.
Three-quarter time.
You want to see a smiling David Roden.
Big ticks for me, and he's absolutely given
Okay.
it.
Look at him.
Big tick. This week on the podcast, I'm excited for this one. Lee Montagna, St Kilda legend, Fox Footy commentator
Surprised
now.
me with how good this one was.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Let's have a little look at what we've got to see coming up.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Reflections on that period, right now.
That's the only time in a game of footy I've ever had sort of tingles or goosebumps.
When that siren goes, are you like, fuck, we got to replay this?
Defence wins premierships, and it will always be the case.
You clearly had a very good side.
So the year after was when the AFL said, hey, we can't have this happen. True story. I don't think I've shared this story.
Oh,
I knew it. Any input from YouTube as to who he was impersonating there? Because I think you can tell who he's impersonating. I knew it. I fucking knew it. It's quite relevant. So do that right now. That's almost at the end of us right now, Daniel. Waffle show tickets.
yeah, Waffle Show, backchatstudios.com.au. Just head to the merch part of our website. It's the first item, I think, on the page.
Beers with
$10.
BackChat.
It's beers with BackChat. We're going to watch the Sydney Western Bulldogs game, and then Ham's going to get up and chat. It's going to be good.
Really good. Big thanks
$20
to our...
palmies.
Oh, yeah. We got
$20
food
palmy, and it's
specials.
tikka masala. Thanks to Liverpool Hotel.
Is that right?
Yes.
I might upgrade to a little tikka masala.
Yeah, I love it.
Little tikky, little tikky, little tikky maybe.
Yeah. Please move on.
Okay.
Making me feel weird.
Paywise,
Touch my head.
powering the podcast this year. Got some big things happening with Paywise. Can't reveal it just yet, but in a couple of weeks you can understand
Might have a
just
Persia.
how connected this podcast is with Paywise. TABtouch, our good friends at TABtouch, of course, bringing you the BackChat Backman of the Year, Shelter Brewing Co, Whippersnapper Whisky, ID Athletic, Mamba Digital. Big thank you to all of them throughout the show, giving us what we need and want, which is support.
Yes, and quick shout out to Play on Footy on YouTube, also D Webster, also Max Hansen, also Purple Monkey Dishwasher, all guest Ross Lyon as the Lee Montagne's impression.
Bloody welcome and well done. It is Ross Lyon and it's a great podcast. Make sure you're listening. On Wednesday, that is out. I
Yes,
believe.
that's right. Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week with... I'm just looking straight across. Can we just finish on Nick right now? I can see all I can see is the lizard's head, and I would like to have.
Yes.
I would like to have the
Should we get
lizard on the
lizard
podcast.
Great.
We'll hunt that during the week. Bye bye.
Bye.